Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back, episode 9. Uberman, other man,
Other man.
and together
Good evening, everyone.
we are Two Dads Podcast. Is on a Friday. Yep, we're back with episode
It's
9.
the
How you
best
doing,
day.
Sid? How you doing?
I'm working, so you know,
You're working?
I'm working, so it's all good.
You're working? Are you seriously working at the moment? You're on
Yeah,
call?
I'm not. I'm not in the tent city in front of
Oh,
the
yes.
governor's mansion at this
Nah,
point.
well,
so-
I'm in my cozy little home here, but you know. Hey, look, each to their own. You know, if
no,
that's what they want to
it's
be.
not each to their own. Just
If that's what they want to do,
stop.
it does need to stop. I guess arguably, I mean they're free. They're free to do so. So clearly,
The unwashed are back, and they're all driving either a Camry or the Chrysler PT Cruiser,
oh,
which
That-
is an affront
How-
to anything.
the PT crew. How did that even? Who
How?
rubber stamped
How?
that thing, man?
How?
Oh,
Someone in Chrysler must have been on the source
that's been at a Christmas
like,
party.
for a long time.
Happened at a Christmas party.
Somehow after hopping off the photocopier, they
Yeah,
just
that's
go,
right.
"Yeah, this looks good.
Wow, jeez,
It's a bit
hasn't this
weird."
episode 9 just escalated straight into it? We haven't done proper intro
We
or
just-
nothing.
We just got straight into it. Got straight
Well,
into it.
welcome, viewers and listeners to the Two Dads podcast and the Two Dads TOO, because we love a good pun, and because
And we're both too much like dads.
too much
So,
like dads. Absolutely.
sorry to ramble on straight at the start.
But see,
in
this
case
is
you're
pent-up
your
energy.
first time, it's like a spring when you wind it up.
is.
You're just gonna
This
let
is-
it go. It's a
This is,
slinky.
this is
A
opportunity for.
slinky, a slinky.
It's a wonderful toy.
I worked in the Coleco toy factory.
What you got to understand is the podcast Friday for Sid and I, we're wound up all week. This is where we release. So we're sort of like greyhounds just waiting for those gates to drop and the bunny's coming
Where's the
past.
rabbit? Where's the rabbit?
A rabbit that's coming past. How you doing? You said you're good, you're working.
All good,
Yes,
man.
you are. We're all good, which is good to hear. Which is good to hear. I'm glad to hear, man. We're gearing up for Christmas.
It's
Not far away.
man, have I got some stuff?
Oh, geez.
That's
well,
all I can say.
first thing,
That's all I can say.
as you know, a lot of our comeback listeners and viewers know, we start off with the good stuff,
Yeah.
which is
I mean,
the pun of the week, and you always come up with something which surprises me. So what have you got for us this week?
so
What
we
have
love
you
our
come up with?
puns. You know, we love when people have thought a little bit outside the square. And look, to be honest, so a pun is the lowest form of comedy.
It is, but
But as I've said in the past, they may not all be gold, but some are platinum.
oh, top shelf. Some of them are
Okay.
absolute top shelf.
So if you're feeling like a souvlaki, but not a souvlaki,
Oh,
and not a souvlaki from the Mediterranean,
oh.
a souvlaki from the Turkish side of things,
Ah,
which is
So,
not
so
known as a souvlaki,
So
a
we got
kebab.
a kebab. If you want a bab? Yep.
You can go to a little place called Turk to Me. I've been past Turk to Me. Turk to Me.
Turk to me.
For
Turk.
kebabs. And it's actually a chain.
Oh, is it?
I've never seen it.
What?
It's
It
a
must be the
chain.
northern suburbs. Is it in the northern suburbs? Because I haven't
Oh
seen.
man, Eastern
everywhere.
Freeway. If you go on the Eastern Freeway
Yeah.
heading towards the city from Frankston,
Yeah.
you'll see it.
yeah.
Turk to Me, big red sign.
to me.
Turk to Me.
Wow. That's great. See, Someone's put some thought into it.
Someone's put in thought.
The combined culture and comedy and the art of the pun with hospitality and the provision of food. It's got everything.
Hospitality, you said?
Hospitality. Yes.
So, in Fitzroy,
Mhm.
if you're hankering for some artesian ice cream,
Ooh.
you can go to Messina,
Okay.
is the name of the ice cream shop.
Yeah.
And they have a dish. It's not a dish, it's on the menu. Okay, now I'm going to move out the way.
Yeah.
So somehow you can only live once.
You can only live once. For the listeners, what we've got in Sid's background is the menu board, and one of the menu options is
For Messina,
you cannoli,
Fitzroy.
as in it's a cannoli.
Only.
The dish
You
is a
can only-
cannoli. The
You can
dessert,
only live once.
you can only live once. And you know what? Eating a cannoli, and if you can only live once eating a cannoli, it's worth it.
And have a look at the one up above.
How did you?
Phil.
How did you come across this? Oh, knocking on heaven's door. That's sick. That's R-rated.
Knocking on heaven's
Is that what we're
door.
saying? That's
Knocking
an
on
R-rated
heaven's-
one. Where did you
You can
find
only
this?
live once.
Did you?
Mate,
have you been in this place?
I was in this place.
You
last
were in this
Sunday.
place. So you look
In
up.
this place last Sunday. This is my photo. I took it. I'm still laughing. You can only live once. Come on.
That is
You
brilliant.
magnificent. Genius.
That is brilliant.
Genius. Genius of pun.
That, I'm speechless. That is fantastic. And cannoli, mate,
And
cannoli's
Phil, you know
Hang
how
on.
we've been, the idea for the podcast has been happening for us for
Yeah. Yeah,
a number of, for
a while.
a little bit of time, and
We've talked about it.
we've spoken about it.
Mhm.
Now, you will remember one of the earliest recollections of a pun that you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, when we were talking about the process of doing the podcast.
Yes.
What was on the side of the freeway as I went off the Westgate freeway, off the bridge
Yeah.
and heading towards work was
It made it. It made it. You beauty.
I-
Oh, what we're laughing at. This is, you know, how you got a parma in a pot, and you got chicken and chips. Well, this for $44 is schnitzel and tits. That's great.
Now,
I'm
we're not
so
working
happy.
blue. I knew this would just make you happy.
Oh man, I was hoping this would come up sooner or later.
Oh no. You were just waiting for it. You just
I
waiting
know when
for
you
it.
rip it out because we spoke about it and you promised it was going to happen, and I sort of thought, oh, maybe he's forgotten about it. I don't want to, because part of the, just for new listeners and viewers, the way this podcast works is I turn up fully unprepared
Yeah.
on purpose. So that way,
Now I had this asked from some of our listeners
yeah,
some of our listeners in the week, and I said, look, I swear to you on the lives of my children,
yeah. Well, they ask you,
Philip has no idea.
no clue. I don't know what's happening. I rock up.
He's
The only
got
thing I
no
do
idea.
is I provide the Zoom link and then I just dial in. That's all I do. And the rest just unfolds before me. That's what happens. Kind of like
Oh,
an
that was
epic,
gold.
it's like Ben Hur. It just all unfolds before me, and whatever
Yeah.
happens, happens.
I was driving off the Westgate.
It's all
and
it did for
I just
44
looked up
bucks.
and I'm thinking, finally, Phil's on the board. He's made it.
Yes.
They've been hearing the Two Dads podcast. They're gonna, we got to get a sign out. We got to get a sign out.
That is the best.
Oh.
That is 44 bucks is a good deal.
I don't know how safe it is
Yeah, I know.
under the
Well,
circumstances.
that's true. Still,
Surely someone's going to get Someone's going to get burned.
Goodness me.
Obviously, the schnitzels are
mate.
all
Nice. Maybe they're
uh,
baked.
all for chicken breast.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Schnitzels are. They are. You got to watch for that.
Okay,
spit
so
oil.
the other thing now, we love a pun. You just can't
You can't.
eat it. It's so
Eloquent.
joyful.
It's so eloquent.
Yeah.
Some of them are so eloquent. It's so clever. That's
You
what
can
we love
only
about
live once.
it. You can only live once, man.
You can only live once.
That's what I'm going to say from now on before I eat a cannoli because it's worth saying. But yes, I know it's coming.
Even the kombucha's out, mate. That's good. I'm bringing out the kombucha.
You got the
again.
kombucha out. I got to
got
get
the
myself a
kombucha
can
again.
of that. I got to get it for next week. I got to try
It's
this
organic.
kombucha. I know. I want to try it. You've
Raspberry lemonade, the kombucha.
Is that the one to go for? Is that the one you normally get?
I like it because it's not because a lot of it the flavor's not like
No, not the best.
it's not for
Tastes like
enjoyment.
ass. How do you know? He asks. I know it's coming
All right.
next. Come on,
Jokes.
let's
We're
bring
gonna
them.
hit the jokes.
Bring the dad jokes. Last week's were a ripper. Man, last week's were a ripper. It's like, can you get through them?
You know,
You can do it.
sometimes
What have you got?
I'm just gonna hit it.
Yep.
How do you follow Will Smith in the snow?
Oh, how do you follow? I don't know. How do you follow him? I can see this coming now. I think I got it. Go, go, go.
You can follow the Fresh Prince.
Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, boom. That's brilliant, man. You can follow the Fresh Prince. Oh, it's the best.
Absolute platinum.
I'll tell you what, man.
Platinum.
That's
I don't know what's higher than platinum.
I don't know, but that's right on the top shelf. That's a
That's
good one.
man.
You got another one?
I've got another one.
You got another one? Good.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you call a factory that makes okay products?
Cool. The factory makes okay products. I don't know. What do you call them? I don't think of this one.
It's satisfactory. He's gonna need the jaws of life or something.
Oh man, I thought Parasites was a good one.
Yeah.
That's a ripper. Satisfactory.
And the two peanuts walking down the street. One was assaulted.
One was assaulted. There's always one. Oh man.
What do you call a factory that makes okay products?
Satisfactory.
It's satisfactory.
Yes, it is.
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
wow.
That's great.
You just it just happens, man.
Oh, man.
You don't understand.
Talk
It just
to me.
happens.
You've done well.
It's
You've done well.
it's so hard.
I actually thought coming into this week, thinking, how's he going to top last week's ones? But you managed. You sure has. You managed.
you
The
follow
Fresh Prince. The
Will
Fresh
Smith in the
Prince.
snow.
Follow the
follow
Fresh,
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Look for the Fresh Prince.
Oh man, good one. Okay, now we've released that energy. The bad jokes are aside.
No.
Well, they're good jokes, but the dad jokes are aside.
They're stellar jokes.
Brilliant.
Platinum jokes.
Oh,
So,
what are we talking about tonight?
episode 9.
What's episode 9 going to be? Hit me with
Episode
it.
9. You're going to love it.
Am I? I mean, I've loved all of them, so why wouldn't I?
Yeah. If it ain't woke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. I like it.
If it ain't woke, don't fix it.
The woke.
Allow the
Nope.
deep breath to come in.
The wake up people. Good Lord. Okay. All right. And you're true.
Yeah.
I agree. If it ain't work, don't fix it. I like it.
If it ain't woke, don't fix
It
it.
seems to be the flavor of the
Yep.
decade, and we've only one.
The steamroller of the cancel culture. I mean, what did Fat Cat ever do to anyone, man?
Or Humphrey, for that matter.
Humphrey, only because he had no pants. You know,
Bears
didn't
don't
even
wear
talk.
pants. But bears
Didn't
don't wear
even talk.
pants.
Bears don't wear pants.
How many?
But they got rid of Humphrey
I don't understand.
because he was always going,
What? It was
you know,
making,
because he was
because he didn't speak.
what a more, I don't
What is
know
that?
of a more wholesome,
Dude, you
fun character for children.
I don't understand, right? We grew up watching Humphrey, and we
Yeah.
never thought, why
But
is
the
Humphrey
cancel
making...
culture.
Yeah, I know. Like, I never understood. I just thought it got to the point where it just wasn't getting ratings, and they just took it off air, and because then you got a lot of this other stuff that coming in, and he just obviously disappeared with age. Like, I stopped watching it clearly, but I didn't realize that there was like a movement to remove him from air.
You know, they removed for Dr. Seuss. There's a few of the titles that they removed because now they're deemed offensive.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, for example, the one I will obviously, for some things, especially if it's a racial stereotype that is obvious offensive, you know.
I've never picked up on any of them.
I'm not going to argue with that. But
in what respect offensive? As in, I don't know. I thought it was just a
sort of
kid's
offensive,
book.
you know, like, yeah, well, yeah. So they actually removed some of the titles out of circulation. This is by the actual people that hold all the rights. But it was never intended to be some sort of a slur on
anyone.
I think what the problem with woke is that, yes, you are now up and you realize all these things that have been happening in society, but we're sending a love letter to common sense, to the woke movement and the cancel culture movement.
Look, I agree. I think it's just getting to the point where it's like, come on. I mean, there's a difference between being truly offensive, and we've seen some of that in the last couple of months. Yeah, right? Yeah. But then there's also the point where not everything, you can't get offended by everything. And, what context is it in, right? Comedians is a perfect example.
Yeah.
All right? Comedians get up there to say stuff to make us laugh so we feel good. And half the time, we're not laughing.
You can't say that.
Why?
You're sitting there with their arms crossed. You can't say that.
Yeah, well, half the time when you listen to a comedian, you're not listening so much to the story, and you're not really taking in or translating what they're saying as, being something that's real. You're laughing at how they're able to string together a story and the irony, and they're just building it, and it's just, it's come to the point where even they have been facing this cancel culture. I mean, Seinfeld being one. He's come out and spoken about it. Yours and my favorite, Dave Chappelle, has come out and spoken about it, and many others. And it's like,
you can't. How can I put this? You cannot stop every person from being offended.
That's. I mean,
it's
everything. I mean, if you're being
it's a subjective thing.
Yeah, but if you're being, purposefully rude, and if you're being an outright dick, well then, yeah. But otherwise, the person's like, geez. So you're trying to tell, if that tells me then, someone like we grew up with, listening to, Eddie Murphy, he wouldn't be able to get up and do stand-up now.
No, there's most of what he says
Yeah.
is offensive.
You and
But-
I, listening to it growing up, we never saw
Yeah.
it as offensive in the sense
No,
of,
but I've not chosen to act that way.
yeah.
You laugh, and
But
it's
he's
funny.
he's not. I don't believe when he did his stand up, he wasn't making fun of groups. He was just making fun of a story to get a reaction, to get a laugh, and for people to feel good about themselves. That's how I
And
view
he said
comedians.
it in the 80s when
Yeah.
with that one sketch about Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
he's making the joke about Stevie Wonder and how everyone loves him and he's such a genius, Then he goes, yeah, if he really wants to impress me, take the wheel of the car.
That's not being offensive. See, and people go, "Oh, that's been offensive." Blah blah.
Yeah, for blind
All
people.
he's trying
and,
to draw the comparison. I understand, and maybe people are going to listen to this and go, "Oh, you're
Stevie Wonder's a musical genius.
He's just
That's wrong.
He's just trying to make. Is it wrong for him to make a joke about it?
Yeah.
Right? Is it wrong for him to make a joke about a blind person because you can't give a blind person the wheel of a car? I don't think
But
that was the
I would
intent of
have
the
thought
joke.
even a blind person would find that funny.
Exactly. It's
That's
what I mean.
the point.
That's the point.
It's
Blind
not being
person-
offensive towards blind people.
No, the blind person. would
It's
find
not like
it-
you're saying. It's not like you're saying I don't think a blind man can drive a car.
No, he's just saying. You
It's
impress
not
me.
right for a blind man to drive a car.
Yeah,
It's
and
obvious.
then. But see,
I mean,
the
have a look
bloke-
at what's happened in the week.
Mm.
There was an Indigenous actor who died.
David, I can't pronounce his surname, but huge, right? He was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I understand that for the people from the culture, you're not allowed to show images. There's got to be
Yeah, there's a
the
respect.
whole
That's
sensitivity around it. Yeah, which I'm
100%.
more than happy with.
Yeah.
But the guy, now they're all going on about what a fantastic actor he is. What a wonderful everything, blah, blah, blah. His family have allowed the media to use his image. The man was homeless and living on the street. Where's his family? Where's all the people that are saying what a fantastic actor he is, what a role model for Indigenous people he is? Why wasn't anyone helping him when he was homeless?
That's a good question.
Sleeping on the streets. That for me, just how can you be so sort of apathetic in the fact the man has passed away? Now we're celebrating. That to me doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's.
And to skip to another thing as well, what's happened in the week for those of you who are on Spotify or on YouTube who don't live in Australia.
Yeah.
We had spent what I am sure is for millions of the money of the taxpayer to make a report about sexual harassment in our nations for Parliament. So the book is that thick.
Yeah, it's full on report.
Can someone explain to me why we needed to do a report? Are we that far gone?
Yeah, that we.
For common, I don't know about you, Phil, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, but in a work environment, is it allowed for you to have inappropriate relationships with the people that work under you or the people that you work with in any work environment?
Across the board, no.
There's an episode in Seinfeld where George sleeps with for the cleaner in the office, and the boss, he calls him into the office, and he's like, George, we've heard rumors that you're sleeping with the cleaner. And he says, was that wrong? I shouldn't have done that, because if someone had said to me in the interview, that I'm not allowed.
Spelled that out.
Yeah, if someone had told me they're not allowed, I would have made sure I don't go against any of the rules. But why do we need
What do we need?
an investigation
maybe to weed it out,
Yeah.
maybe to call it out. I mean, the fact that you need an investigation to me is already, it gets to the point where obviously something's happening and people think it
Yeah, and
is okay.
obviously there's something wrong with the whole
That's
with the
right.
whole situation in the first
Exactly.
place.
That's
Because
typically
every
you have,
parliamentarian is an employer because they have
yeah,
staff.
yeah, yeah.
So how many now have stood down or standing now because now it's all the inappropriate actions have all been exposed.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, it's surprising because it's the last place you'd think, but then again, it is a workplace, and you know, there's always been this, I guess, this thought or this perception that politicians think they're above others, and clearly, bottom line, it's sad that an investigation had to happen, but it's also a good thing as well
No,
because that
look,
shit's not on, right?
it should have just been ruled out in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's like
Come
any
on.
other workplace.
Absolutely. It's just
You
not
will be sacked,
zero
have
tolerance.
legal action.
Let's be clear. There's
That's
zero
it.
tolerance.
Zero
It's not,
tolerance.
oh yeah, no, you didn't understand.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious. I mean, they're all mature adults who have got life experience. You know, we're talking about politicians who, I don't know what the age group is, but they're not straight out of uni and walking into, being an MP and maybe not having. I know the
ScoMo
difference.
is low-hanging fruit. Obviously,
Yeah, let's not
we've
get
made that quite clear.
Yeah,
it's
but
just,
no, it's just crazy.
there was another
Crazy.
story as well with during on the floor in the parliament while they were going through the question time, one male for minister was making for noises like a dog when a female minister was standing up and
That was our
doing
Jackie
her
Lambie,
speech.
mate.
I mean, really?
That was our Jackie Lambie.
Yeah.
It's not right. I mean, come on.
These the part that hurts me is that this is the upper echelon
This is the people
of our
running
country.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not from This is not Kmart. This is this is the
Not there's
people.
anything wrong with that.
No. Well,
No, but we have to say it because of the woke people. So we're going to say,
yeah.
we're not disparaging anyone that
No,
enjoys the products for Kmart.
no, not at all. We're
Like
just telling them.
their intelligence is subpar.
No, what you probably find is their behaviour is far more above par compared to that in Parliament. Is probably more the comparison, right? And that's the thing. It's just bizarre.
And where's the correction of the behavior? Oh, no, I didn't do that, but I'm sorry. It's like you went to the ScoMo School of Marketing, apparently.
I didn't do it, but I'm sorry.
But I'm sorry.
What are you apologising for if you didn't do it?
Yeah, another thing for woke as well. I don't know if it's woke or part of the cancel culture. Apparently you cannot say a pregnant female anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now
I don't know any of this stuff. I mean,
you get to
what's
take
the term?
I just like to take a breath. So you're not allowed to say pregnant female or pregnant woman. You just say pregnant person. Pregnant person, because
Okay. Why is
let's
that?
just leave a silly thing like nature
Yeah, let's just discard that.
and actual fact that in order to bear children you must be female.
Well, as I
So
understand
the
it,
nature of
only a female has a uterus
having a
that
pregnancy
allows.
yeah
Right.
yeah. The last time I checked, males don't have uteruses,
No.
but apparently because now same-sex or trans
Yeah.
trans persons
Mhm.
may be in the process of
Oh, okay. Going through.
okay, let's explain this properly. Maybe in the processes of changing the gender,
Okay.
they may identify as male but are actually female,
Okay.
because the last time I checked,
Mhm.
how you were made by God is irreversible. No matter what you put on the outside,
Yeah.
you can change the curtains, but everything that's right behind the window is still the same.
Well,
So
I guess look
apparently,
at it.
to stop people being offended who are trans,
Mhm.
but identify as male even though they are actually female, it's incorrect
Ha-
to refer to pregnant women as women. They have to
Okay.
be a pregnant person.
Okay. And I guess
So
that's because
why does this have to make us feel uncomfortable? Why?
yeah, it's
Why
look,
can we not?
it's a fair question. I mean, if I put a common sense approach to it, you and I I wouldn't know. Like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you know me for a long
Yeah,
time.
I know.
The rock
Apparently,
I've
you've offended someone.
the
We've
the
offended
rock
someone now.
the rock under which I've lived has been a big rock. Very
Very.
simple. I don't see some of this stuff, and I don't recognize it. Um, so I wouldn't know. Like, if I spoke to people, I probably have. I wouldn't know, and that's not. And the reason why is because I'm not out looking. I'm not judging. I just treat
Yeah.
people as people. You to me look like a female. You are a male, and I maybe unfairly make the assumption that you know a female's a woman and a male's a man, and I wouldn't have a clue if someone identified differently, and I wouldn't have a problem if someone told me, if that someone corrected me, not a
Yeah.
problem. I think I prefer that than have to feel like I have to walk on eggshells, because I wouldn't get offended if someone said, "Look, just so you know, I actually do identify as a male." No worries. I don't want to disrespect you, and I'll make sure that I know that now. But don't feel like my reference to you as a female was, I don't care
Offensive.
I don't care what you represent
Yeah.
yourself as. I'm going to call you that anyway because that's what I believe. Not at all. And that's part of the problem, or part of the issue.
Yeah. And
right?
this is I.
It's part of the issue. We don't do it on purpose, right? People
Yeah.
don't. It's just, it is a change in society, a change which absolutely is fair, because people should be treated the way, treated right, respectfully, and this is not about acceptance. Let's be very clear. It's not about accepting the change. It's that it's not even recognition. I'll be very careful how I choose my words. I find that it is growing as a community that we have, or we are different, right? We are
It's the
different.
differences that make us
Yeah.
the
The community that we
society.
are, absolutely. And when we had that referendum on gay marriage,
Yeah.
the fact that we even needed a referendum spun my head out. I just thought, why do we even need a referendum on thing? Why are we voting for this? It just should happen. It's no big deal, Not that it's no big deal, but I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did have a referendum on it in the end.
I feel it's the same way as it doesn't affect me
Nah,
if someone is a Jew.
it's
It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with me.
All I care about is you respect other people, you follow the order of law so that keep people safe,
Yeah.
and you do your best to not hurt people. That's it. As long as you do that, everything else, it's up to you. Your
I
personal
don't
life,
think we need
don't
woke
judge.
or for cancel.
No,
We just need to be respectful. That's it.
it's simple as that's what's happening, right?
Yeah, this is what everyone
It's like
has
respect
completely
is-
overlooked.
Exactly.
It's common human decency
Just being
is
kind.
what. Yeah,
It's not. Don't have to
that's
cancel
all we need
anything.
to do.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to cancel anything.
If you find something offensive, you don't watch it, you don't read it,
No.
you don't buy it on eBay.
No, you don't do it.
But
Exactly.
don't stand there and go, "Oh, this needs to be removed."
You can't do that.
You can't do
exactly.
that. You can't
do
say that.
You can't do that, because even though I don't want to know about that, and I don't tend to watch it or I tend to buy it, I just need to know that it's gone. That's what the cancel culture is
Yeah,
all about.
and now I'm happy because
Yeah.
finally they've there was another one where they're not allowed to use the term mankind anymore because that's offensive. Because
Humankind?
it
Did you say
relate- yeah,
humankind?
It's
Yeah.
got to be humankind. But the word mankind was never meant to refer to only men, and women mean nothing.
No,
It's just a term of reference as to the human
it was
race.
it just shortened the word human to man. That's all it was.
That's
all it
right.
was.
Thank you.
That's all it was.
That's all it was.
Let's look at this as common sense.
Humankind sounds longer,
Humankind,
and that's it.
mankind.
But now we're
Man is
offending
part of
people.
human. You're human. Woman. It's the same thing. You know, there
Yeah.
was zero intent on saying mankind and the other lot. It's not like we say that, right? We don't say that.
Yeah, I think if I was a woman, I would be offended by the fact that
Yeah.
my
Oh man, I'd love to get an opinion.
my one imperative as a female is to have the ability for procreation
Yeah.
and everything that comes along with it.
Mhm.
And now I'm not allowed to be known as a pregnant woman.
I get it.
I need to be called a
Why
pregnant
can't we have both?
person
But why can't we have both?
because it's just ridiculous to have to go down to this point where it's again that whole eggshells. You know, you got to is it okay if
Look,
I say you're a pregnant
I would love to get, and look, I
female?
can't. Yeah, I can't speak. You and I can't speak on behalf of someone who is transgender. I would love to have the conversation, and more so.
No, but
not
I don't think it
judge, but
look.
to understand.
Yeah.
You know, to understand from their perspective, what do they feel? How do they, you know, what struggles do they encounter? You know, how can obviously it's an education thing, right? Because we've got, you know, baby boomers, and you got us, and then you got, you know, the Gen Ys and all that, and we all, the level of the way we look at things, and I hate using the word acceptance, but
Yeah, well, look.
it's almost like that, is different, right?
Yeah.
It is different. I mean, you know, the baby boomers and the old school, I'm sure if you sat down and have a conversation, you get everything they would say. Would you be going, you can't say that, and you can't say that, and you can't say that, right?
Well,
But I would love to have that conversation, because it's not fair that someone who is transgender and wants to be referenced as a pregnant person can't receive that. But then a pregnant woman can't be known as a pregnant woman. They have to be
Yeah,
known
but
as a pregnant person.
a label is not changing anything. I mean, I could say this is, I could say this is cider,
Drink. It's a can of drink.
but it's not what's inside the can.
It's not a can of drink. It's a can of
I
fluid.
can say whatever it is.
It's not drink. It's
It's oil.
fluid. But you could say it's a
know,
can of drink,
Doesn't
right?
change it.
But they say no, it's a can of fluid, because the fluid could be drunk. It could be poured.
No, because this can for kombucha wants to be known as oil. It identifies with being oil.
Oh,
so
right.
it's now oil.
But how am I
And
supposed
you have to
know
call
that?
it oil because you're not allowed to not agree with what it identifies as.
As
This is the problem.
Mhm.
You're just making everyone's actual feelings go underground because
Yeah.
acceptance is something that is organic.
Mm.
If you want acceptance, you just have to be who you are, and
Yeah,
that's it.
and educate. Yeah, and just educate.
It even goes right back to any sort of affirmative action where, you know, for example, if there was a law in Australia where every company had to have 5% Indigenous, 5% Asian, 5%, you know, Indian.
Mhm.
You know, they made this law, which then someone at this woke and for cancel culture will feel like they've done their job. You know, you got to have 5% transgender, 5%
Mm.
gay, 5% lesbian, 5%. You know, they just slicing it all up and make everyone go, well, sorry, Mick, we can't hire you because we're over the quota for male.
Yeah.
How is that working? Everything should be on the merit,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
acceptance is organic. If
And
everyone was a decent human being,
Yep. Yeah.
it
And
wouldn't
look,
be an issue. I don't have to feel like I can't be myself
Yep.
or
Agree.
I can't speak a certain way
Yeah. Well, getting back to your
Just worry about
quota,
who's offended.
but getting back to your quota example of 5% this, 10% that in the workplace, I strongly believe that if you went down the path of hiring on merit, being respectful, you'd get that mix anyway,
Yeah.
because you're interested in who the person is, are they able to do the job, what they do outside, and who they are outside. Not that you don't care, but that shouldn't even come into
It's
play,
none of my business. It's none of
right?
your business. None of anyone's business. What is
Right?
your
Not exactly.
private?
No, nothing. It doesn't matter.
Your what you do in your private life have
It doesn't
to
matter because
be.
now,
It's like if I'm a clown
yep.
on weekends,
Well, that's right.
I
What does
don't
that
have to tell
mean?
my employer
Yeah, that you're a
that
clown.
I identify as being a clown.
But that's what I'm saying.
And
It doesn't that make it more awkward that you're having an interview and say, "Oh, by the way,
yeah,
can you please tell us which percentage do you fit in so we can tick it to?" That doesn't make
yeah.
any sense, right? I mean, I understand
You
things
should have a
like
piece of paper. Your skin's a little olive.
I
Any
understand.
chance you could
I can
identify from
appreciate, and
African
I do support.
origin?
When it comes to the percentage of women in higher, like more senior positions, particularly in corporate, and I'm saying as in it's predominantly been a male sort of dominated in the higher ranks, whereas now you're seeing a lot more female, and I don't believe that is just because they're trying to hit quotas. I believe
No,
that it's
they're
because
because they're there
women
for merit. Yeah,
women are bloody putting in the work
that's right.
and they're able to do it, and they've got services now that can support. Particularly, I mean, I know where I work, women who are in senior positions with families and kids, they have the support. Things like childcare and after school care and things like how they juggle is just beyond me
Yeah,
because they are brilliant at
it's
what they do.
yeah,
Like I'm talking,
it far exceeds
it's like
the
I think
capacity of any
it's,
man.
I can't-
It
I-
far
it
exceeds the
does.
capacity.
I try to
Yeah,
think about, go,
yeah,
how do you manage this? It's just
yeah.
it's phenomenal, right? And I'm getting back to my point. If you just did it with good intentions, you get the right mix anyway, surely,
Yeah.
because it is clear that in our society we have a big mix of people, and it's no longer just man and woman. There are people who identify differently, and however you identify is fine, and it's a good thing because then you're happy with yourself. You go to a workplace, you're there to do a job that you know you can do and you've proven you can do. Why does it matter what you identify as to be in that job? Now, the only thing that
No
comes,
employer should be looking for a
well,
blind, indigenous, half Asian, wheelchair bound woman
right, yeah,
who identifies as being a man, just to fill a
we're
quota.
just we're so. It's right. That's my point. We're so multicultural and diverse as it is, right? That to me, hitting quotas, that, that's not right.
Yeah, it's
That
the
should be
same.
cancelled.
Affirmative
That doesn't
action
make any
has
sense.
never, ever, ever worked. It
Doesn't
will
make
never work,
doesn't
no
make any
matter
sense.
what way they try to do it. Or now the woke generation is it's a whole new way of affirmative action.
Mm,
By the place for guilt.
yeah.
you know, it's a patriarchal society and you need to give everyone a leg up only because of what they identify as. We get to the point, like, now there's three options on a passport. There used to be
Yeah.
male and female.
And what's the was
Now
it
there's other.
is yeah.
And how many forms have you signed where you can choose to not reveal your gender
Hmm.
because it makes you more comfortable? Again, I'm not saying that
It shouldn't
it's wrong.
be.
There's obviously more deep-seated issues, but
Yeah.
I just don't think, for example, if we boil it down to something that is more accessible from an example point, okay? Um, I have a, I, I have a stammer. Okay, if I if I insist that everyone around me
Mhm.
change how they behave so that I feel more comfortable,
Yeah.
is not helping me. The same as if you didn't, like, I'm not saying you are, but if you were actually, you had no hair, only because it makes you feel comfortable, everyone else needs to shave their hair
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I get what your point
because
is.
that offends you by having to be amongst people that have hair.
So I'm not, see, then it's a difference, right? I get what you're saying. You don't get offended. You just respect the fact that, well, some people, when it comes to your stammer, I'm sure people finish their sentences sometimes.
Yeah.
Or they wait, but you don't get offended by that because you understand this is what I got. People that know me, they know it, right? They don't sit there and finish my sentences. Other people do. Like me. I haven't got hair. To use your example, I don't sit there and go, well, I don't get offended by other people that got hair.
How dare you stand in front of me
That's what I'm
with all your
saying.
long hair? You
I
know?
don't, I don't
Who
get,
do you
get
think you
jealous.
are?
I might get jealous, but I don't get offended
You know
to
how
the
much money I
point.
save on shampoo? You know how much money?
I understand because I mean, and we've got to be very careful because the examples that have used are very superficial. Let's be clear, right?
Yeah,
Extremely
look, but
superficial.
what I'm trying to say is that it would have never have helped me.
Mhm.
Like, I would have never been able to do what we are doing now.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know me since 1987. You
man,
know, I
long
could
time.
never even stand up in class and make a speech.
Yeah, it used to. Yeah, it
But
was back then. It
if
was difficult, but
if somehow my environment as a child was changed to not make me deal with it,
hmm yeah,
I would have never have improved.
no, that's right. Yeah, you were forced in a way. Well,
That's the po-
that's the
no, but
yeah,
you have to deal.
yeah.
Like,
You have to
you
face it.
need to find your way to be
hmm
able to deal with the issues you have in life. This is resilience.
hmm
This is what we are removing from the children
It's true.
because we go, oh no, we can't have that.
Well, it's like
That of a,
Christmas,
you know,
right?
now all the children, all the storybooks, you know, there's got to be someone in a wheelchair. There's got to be someone
Well, you know that,
blind. There's got to be someone that's of
like,
different faith, different for color, different.
yeah, but even simple stories like Baba Black Sheep
Yeah.
is now Baba Rainbow Sheep.
When there
Now,
are black sheep, like
well,
it
that's
is a
right.
breed of
But
sheep.
it is a
It's not
breed of
like you're
sheep.
saying it's a racial thing. There
But
is
that's it.
actually,
But that's the point, right?
yeah.
That's what I don't understand. Reading that story as a kid, and even today, the thought doesn't even enter my mind that, oh my God, we're making some sort of reference to people of color.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
an
a nursery
adult for
rhyme.
concept that they're moving into a
Yeah,
child's frame of mind. No child ever looks at
no,
another child's skin color and go, "Oh,
no,
why are you so dark and I'm so light?" They're
they don't.
playing together.
Yeah,
They
that's
never
right.
the thought never even enters their mind.
But the
But
thought never
this
entered.
is that whole,
It's taught, right?
yeah.
And this is where getting back to earlier that I made the comment about if someone is transgender and I refer to them as a female, my preference would be don't be offended that I'm ignoring how you represent yourself. I honestly don't know. But if you educate me, well then I will know because the unfortunate truth is you do you do look like a female, and there's no way of telling,
You
right?
may
So
have a
I don't
beard
do it for
and your
the
nails are painted and
I don't you know what
but
I mean? I don't say it for the purpose of saying I don't, and I said this before. I don't care how how you
yeah.
represent yourself. This is how I think, and I'm going to force it on you. It is honestly um, just trying to be respectful or whatever the case is. But you educate me, well, I'm going to respect that, and it gets back to our point earlier. If we're just kind and respectful, it organically
Hmm.
grows.
Everything will just work if everyone is
It works
striving
itself
for
out.
righteousness.
Yeah.
If everyone is
Oh.
striving for righteousness and just being responsible human beings,
Yeah.
there wouldn't be any need to censor
No. No,
language to censor
this
everything so that
and
it's
please,
somehow
and getting back to the comedy thing, the whole cancel culture against comedians. You got to stop. You got to stop that. They're just getting up there, providing comic relief and
entertainment.
entertainment, and not at someone's expense. They're just taking the crowd along for a laugh, and then people go what they're using, who I identify with as the source of that information. Well, there was a time where wogs made fun of themselves.
That's right.
Acropolis Now.
They
Was
turn
it
an
two?
insult into a culture.
No,
Really?
Acropolis Now back in the
Yeah.
80s, late 80s, early 90s, was wogs making fun of wogs. Wogs still do it. Sushi Mango, who are huge on Insta and Facebook and do a tour making fun of their dads.
Yeah.
We don't get offended. There would be, I can guarantee you, there will be no
Super Wog,
Super Wog. He does the
the
same thing.
same.
We don't get offended because we know it's just a joke. We know it's just.
Stop taking it out of context.
We don't exactly. We don't.
Sacha Baron Cohen, he
Oh,
makes
yeah.
a lot of his stuff makes fun of Jews. He is a Jew.
That's right. He's not trying to have a go. He's just. He's just. What word am I looking for to help explain? It's just. It's like an embellishment. It's overdoing it for the purpose of providing entertainment, right? To the point of, don't get offended by it. See the funny side of it, because it's a over exaggeration of things.
Yeah,
that's how I see it anyway, right? Like Acropolis Now, over exaggerated, making fun of ourselves. You're looking at
stereotypes. It's just over exaggerating stereotypes.
That's exactly.
That's all.
Right? Like Russell.
And if we cannot laugh at ourselves, we cannot.
Russell Peters is another one.
Russell Peters, he's made a lifetime out of.
You know what I'm saying?
Out of highlighting all the differences between the cultures and people.
And
if you get offended by the comedy, then there's something wrong with you, not with him.
But don't listen to it. No one's forcing you to listen to it, and it's not something which is, and I don't know whether I'm right to say this, it's not something which is done for the purpose of oppressing people.
That's right.
Right.
Or the purpose to make people feel inferior.
No.
Certain
not at all.
Sectors of the community feel inferior, or be insulted, or be somehow made to look like they're not enough. This is the issue, but you're reading into every single thing. I mean, something that's overtly offensive.
Yeah,
it normally is.
Yes,
and it's probably
absolutely.
wrong anyway, and
That's
or
right.
probably illegal.
Exactly.
Like the Religious Freedoms Act that I'm not sure if they managed to pass it in Parliament, but this should be irrelevant. But it's because of the woke and the cancel culture, that's why they have to do that. Now, you mentioned earlier same-sex for marriage.
Yep.
Right now, there was I'm not sure what type of for church it actually was, but there was a same-sex of a couple that wanted to have their marriage in the church.
Yeah, well,
not sure whether the church was Anglican or whatever, and whoever was the priest or the pastor of the church said, "I'm sorry, we cannot do that." They launched legal action. But this is completely insane, because you cannot. The act of marriage is the legal part of it. Right? It's a legal. It's it's legally binding. It is in law. Man and woman.
Man and man.
To be married.
Yeah.
Well, that's the legal definition. But when we're talking about the spiritual and the faith side of it, how can you then impose your choice?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's exactly the same as if someone who it's not their first marriage cannot be married
Yeah,
in a church.
that's right.
No one's launching. No
No.
one's launching for legal action.
Did you launch? I
No,
didn't launch.
no, I didn't even ask because I know.
It's what it is.
Yeah,
It's just saying, okay,
that's what it is,
that's
mate.
your way. It's
Yeah.
what
I can't inflict. I can't
right.
enforce my choice
Yeah,
onto
yeah,
onto anyone else.
That's right.
I take responsibility for my choice, and that's it.
exactly.
So you take what you're given you take the consequences of the choice that you've made.
Well, you sound like Jackie
You
Lambie.
can't turn around and want to change everything else
You
just
sound like
because now.
Jackie.
Yeah, but this is the madness part. You know, they
Yeah.
shouldn't have to make a bill for the Religious Freedom Act to actually protect
It's
people or peoples of certain faith against why won't you marry these two men that are trans? Well, we don't have to. Go and get a celebrant.
Mhm.
Perform the legal ceremony of marriage.
yeah,
Don't come to a religious. It's like insisting, I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
but I'm going to insist to go to a synagogue and go, you must marry me. You
Yeah.
must marry me because you're legally obligated to marry me.
Well-
No, you're not.
yeah. No, you raise a good point, and you're not. You're right. You and I are both Catholic, and
No, I'm
you're Christian.
Christian.
I'm Catholic.
You're
beg your
Catholic,
pardon.
yep.
Yeah, I'm Catholic. You're Christian. Beg your pardon. And you and I. Oh, I know your example earlier. Couldn't get remarried in the church, not in the
Yeah.
Catholic church.
Yep.
Just flat, and I'm Catholic. It's not like thinking that, oh, you know what, because you're Catholic, we'll make a special consideration. It's like, this is how we do things. There's no other options on the table here. Right? So,
Well, Shakira and I was the same. The same
yep. And you
with
can respect
for
that.
the
Like,
Athena Real Estate and you did.
wow. Great church, mate. They don't care. Let everyone in. Come on in. Come on
We
in.
stand up. We have chairs. They're standing up.
Man, that was a long time to stand up the whole time.
Stand
That
up
was tiring.
chairs. Stand up chairs.
But I get,
My
I
favourite
see, I
I
understand.
love the stand up chairs.
I
A
understand.
chair with no seat.
I understand the point that you're making. It is a valid point, right? Because what the cancel, and this goes back, and it's funny how it ties in even with what Senator Lambie,
Yeah.
I want to call her by a title, by Senator Lambie's
Two
point.
dads is hitting all the points, mate. We're hitting
Yeah,
all the points.
yeah,
Everything's
because
happening.
Senator Lambie, I don't know if I know we reached Tasmania. If she ever listens, we are
Yep.
huge fans, Senator.
Please hit us up.
Massive
Hit us up on the
fans.
socials.
Massive fans of Senator Jackie Lambie. I like calling her by her
Senator
full
Jackie
title
Lambie.
because she has
Yep.
earned that title. Senator Jackie Lambie.
No nonsense, straight down the line.
Common sense, and
That's right.
she knows her shit, man. She's on it. I haven't. Some of the last time Senator Jackie Lambie put her foot wrong. I can't remember. Can't recall. Anyway.
And certainly it wasn't anything remotely,
No.
you know.
When it
There's
matters.
probably
Yeah.
if it was anything, it was something that where she
Nothing.
actually made a mistake. And
Nah.
I'm sure she admitted it.
And she would have admitted it, and she
Owned
would have
it.
stood by it, and she would have owned
Yeah.
it 100.
Not saying no, I didn't do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. But her point, getting back to her point about owning things and taking responsibility, and my decision has consequence and things like that. You can't extinguish, or you can't get rid of your consequence by forcing someone else to accept your choice. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You make a choice, you gotta live with that choice.
Again,
But-
here at the Two Dads at the podcast, we agree with everyone's freedoms.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
Freedom comes with responsibility.
it comes with responsibility.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the reality is that even as a Catholic, I can't get remarried in the Catholic Church, and I couldn't.
That's right.
And in a Catholic Church, men and women can only get married. and you only get one crack at it. So
You only get one crack.
I only get one
Which-
crack at it. So regardless,
But this is
Right.
the way it should be. Again, obviously, people will be offended, but really, when you get married, it's for life.
it is. Absolutely that's the intent, right?
Yeah,
That's the intent.
it's
But things happen.
it's not. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah,
It doesn't
but
work
that's
that
how.
way.
But that is
Yeah.
how it is. That's how it works in the Catholic Church. And I can only speak from my experience, obviously, with the Catholic Church. That's how it works. That's how it. And this is not just the last couple of years. Long history behind that, right? So
This
there's
is
tradition and
how
things like
it's
that that
always
come
been.
with it. Exactly. So to take up legal action to force your choice
Yeah.
on someone else to have to accept it, I mean, that's where it starts getting the problem of who's not respecting who.
This is the thing. We even made similar issues with mask wearing. You know, when it was mandated, you
Yeah.
see people, you watch the look in their eyes as they're walking around with no mask, just waiting for you to say
Waiting.
something,
Yeah.
just so they can be offended because you're infringing on their rights to not worry about your rights either.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you know?
that's the thing, right?
yeah,
That's the thing. Yeah, it's true. It's
mutual. It's the whole submarine thing. You need to turn the keys at the same time.
you do.
Okay?
Otherwise, shit won't
That's all
work.
you need to do.
Mate,
if-
it's just being kind and respectful.
Yeah.
And if we, like you said, if we just did that, we honestly things would be. But the problem is, mate, trying to coordinate people to wear masks for the benefit of others is difficult enough. How are we going to coordinate people to act responsibly and respectfully when
My daughter's scared of spiders, and so is my sister. My sister will jump 6
She'd
meters
run-
in the air.
she'd run through a brick wall if she saw a Spider-Man?
And when we were younger, I used to just leave fake spiders around the house at
I
random
remember
places.
that. You used to do it on the floor. This is the place here in Narry. Remember? You used to do it at the door jam, like just where
Yeah,
just where you can see it, and you
That's
double
right.
look.
that's
I remember you
right.
used to do that.
Jeez, freak out. One time she jumped, she high jumped the bench in the kitchen. I've never forgotten that. It's like,
Man, she landed on a dining room table. That's pretty close to the dining room.
no, she was on that side. And
Oh, she's on that side. She
landed in
jumped
the
over
kitchen.
into the kitchen, right?
But yeah, my daughter and my sister are extremely fearful of spiders. But is it helping them by making sure there's never any spiders?
Yeah, yep.
It's not helping you. Like you're never going to be able to get to a place where you can handle your own situation.
Yeah.
I mean, fear is just an example. It's not the same as obviously your issues with your gender
Or
or
being disrespected or being judged. I mean, that's different. Let's be very clear, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's a different kettle of fish. If there was someone who I knew identified themselves in a particular way and I didn't care and just referred to them as something else, which I knew would offend them, which I knew would be disrespectful,
yeah, that's a different thing
that
because you're doing it on purpose.
that's been an a-hole, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's what that is. But if we get to the point where now we have to refer to people as that person, I can't refer to him as him
Yeah,
because I may offend him, well, how am I supposed to know? And why? I guess the question is, why should I change? Why don't you just educate me? It's an education process. So you've
I can
chosen-
put a Ferrari badge on a Camry and tell people it's a Ferrari because it has a badge. I want you. My Camry now identifies as a Ferrari.
Sorry. And look,
It's just never going to change, and you're not going to help people. That's more to the point. I know I'm making light
yeah,
of the situation, but
you're
you're
drawing
actually
long bows.
you're actually not helping yourself or helping society by just putting another badge on something.
Yeah.
or making sure that you remove any reference to man in the dictionary or something.
Yeah,
It's not changing anything.
it's
You're just
also-
making people's real feelings go underground, go behind closed
Well,
doors.
aren't we also just removing the fact that, unfortunately, when you live in society, you need to have a certain level of tolerance as well?
That's right.
You just do. I mean, sorry, there's a lot of idiots out there. And the last 20 months has brought a lot of them out of the woodwork.
And the
let's be
police are
honest.
actually having a look over them right now, I'm sure, on the lawns
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
of a government
Yeah,
house.
but a lot of them, I mean, they're frustrating, but they exist and they're there. Now, we're not saying we've got to ship them all off to somewhere. We have to live with it because they're going to be
We'll just
there.
wait for Omicron to sort it all out. That's what we're going to do. Just have at it.
Let's not get onto that. But you're right. Look, getting back, because I think we need to wrap
You
it
always
up.
get that little look when you.
Stop it. I just think of it started going through the YouTube guidelines in my head. Stop it. But you're right. I mean, just to wrap things up, the cancel culture, it's almost, what isn't on the table now, people? It's time to clear the table when it comes to cancel culture.
It's
Things that
time
are-
to.
Things that are wrong,
It's time to have a Coke and a smile.
and
It's time. It's time to just remember, with just human decency and for common sense.
a bit of kindness.
Like,
That's all you need.
why does a parent have to worry that, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy my daughter a dress because I'm enforcing a stereotype?
If
you
then when
know?
they're old enough, they can make a choice. Then you respect that choice.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. That is different. I mean, because now what you're suggesting is, well, get all clothes and get them to choose what they want to wear.
Everything is just white. It's just, there's no shorts, pants, and everyone just wears some square thing it's just, you're homogenizing everything.
Yeah.
But they will find their own way. They will make the right choice whenever they need to, and that'll be it. But you make things more complicated, and having all these rules and all these ways of doing things is not helping people organically work out what's right and what's wrong.
Exactly.
Like, for example, when their kids are small, if you cover everything in feathers so that they never have to put their feet on the ground, they never have to worry about anything falling over, they never have to worry about sharp edges, hard surfaces. You do this their whole childhood. When they actually have to go outside, they'll die in the first hour. We're not instilling resilience for character or for spirit. We're just trying to enforce some obligation to think a certain way, to talk a certain way, to look at things, but you're never actually fixing anything. You're just making things go underground. Like why should white supremacists, for example, you make white supremacy illegal? It's not going to rid the world of white supremacy.
No.
You remove every reference on all forms of for media for white supremacy. It's not all of a sudden just going to stop existing.
That's right.
What you need to do is just shine a light on it for the ignorance and small-mindedness that it actually is.
Exactly. Educate.
Yeah.
Like I said before.
And
educate.
let the comedians
make
fun of them and go to town.
Go to town.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
And change the attitudes.
Yeah, it's educating.
I do have some updates, Phil.
Oh, let's go.
I do have some updates.
Because we're
now,
close to wrapping up. Let's
yeah,
go.
as I said, I swear on the lives of my children that there's and nothing is scripted.
No.
But I don't
just
try to
ramble
do
on, man.
anything.
We
things,
just ramble
things
on.
just happen.
Yeah.
You know who called me this week?
Who called? No.
No, it's not
that person. No. Who called you this week?
I got a call from Cokie the Smurf.
Really?
Cokie the Smurf.
Cokie the Smurf rang you?
Cokie the Smurf.
It's been
Rang me like
ages.
3 times, and he goes, "Oh, do you know who this is?" I said, "No."
He didn't even recognise Koki.
And then he told me, I said,
Been a
man,
while.
you sound terrible.
What's happened?
I got old, he said.
You got old.
No, I'm sure it wasn't all illegal substances at all.
Wasn't that? Yeah, cool. Let's not get into those stories
So
again.
that was a funny thing. And
Gotcha.
I went for a walk. No,
Yeah.
the first one,
Right.
Melbourne has a new hero.
Really?
Melbourne has a new hero.
Well, hang on. So not the blind lion and not
There's
Carrot
no
Man.
sign of the blind lion. The blind lion is hibernating somewhere.
I think he's done his. And what about the Carrot Man?
The Carrot Man, he's also
He's
MIA. So someone
He's
someone
cooked.
else has stepped in the void.
See,
Someone else has stepped in the void.
someone
Phil.
stepped up.
And you're never going to believe.
What we got here?
It's this who has stepped in the void. I can't
What?
see the whole image.
Oh wow! Hang on, are those platform shoes?
It's the Tartan Angel.
Are those angel wings?
Yeah.
Where is this? Is Footscray? I can see Footscray.
What's great?
Right.
This is just random.
Wow. Are
This
they
was
sockets?
at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Thursday.
Hang on, is this the pimp story all over again?
It's the pimp's partner.
Pardon me, people. The asthma's kicked in. What? Oh man,
The platform boots, the fishnet stocking, the
they are
tartan,
fishnets
the
Tartan,
wings,
yeah.
and it's actually got a red. The
red
hair's
dress?
red,
as
and
well,
there's a hat.
and they're just cruising the streets of the western suburbs.
Yeah, just walking around. Like
Okay.
there's no event. There's no event.
Hey.
It's 1:30 on a
Hey.
Thursday afternoon,
We're out of lockdown.
and it's a
They can do whatever they
man.
want. That's fine.
It's a man.
Well, hey,
I'm just making that to say.
I
Obviously,
sort of gathered
not identifying
based on the
as a
structure.
man.
I gathered based on the structure, but this individual.
We're gonna have to put a link, or we're gonna have to
So
find somewhere
just
to put the actual photo because I can't.
yeah,
I haven't got. I can't
Just the way
like
it's
move
cut
the
it.
photo. I can't move the image or anything.
can't
it's just
move it
the way
around.
is. So
There you go.
So you can't see the
There you
whole
go.
thing. So
And what are
the
they carrying at
Tartan
the front?
Angel,
What were they carrying at the front? It looks like they're carrying something at the
the
front.
bag.
Oh, it's a bag.
handbag,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Angel wings.
And the angel wings in the back.
Yep.
Oh well,
So Melbourne has a
see.
new hero. The
Well, this one
Tartan
can
Angel.
fly by the looks of it.
Call them the Tartan Angel. But
How do they walk in
there's
those
nothing
shoes? That's
happening.
a
Like this is
skill.
just a street.
Well, this
There's
person
nothing.
clearly feels, and as they should, feels comfortable in what they're wearing. How they walk in those shoes is beyond me. I would twist an ankle.
High
itself-
platform white.
That in itself is a
Boots.
skill. Yeah, that in itself is a skill, man. You know how hard it is to walk in those sort of things?
No, Phil, I don't know how it is to
You know
walk in
how it
this
is?
stuff.
They're hard. It is.
The Tartan Angel.
The Tartan Angel. Well, I'm glad to
Tartan
hear
Angel.
that we have another superhero in Melbourne because we do need them. And we do need them.
And
people being themselves is also what we need. So good on that person for being them.
I was
Well, I'm sorry.
driving, obviously,
Of
out
course.
and about,
Yeah, as always.
you know.
What else have you
And
seen? Get a load of this, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are on Spotify. So he's put up a photo. Come over to YouTube, check it out. It is a truck with gravel, and on the
it's
back,
a garden supplies
garden
company.
supply place, and it's got at the top of the truck, "Get a load of this," and clearly, what's in the truck? The puns.
Fantastic, man. It's fantastic.
See?
Oh, it was
brilliant.
the funniest thing.
Get a load
Brilliant.
of
See?
this.
Get a load of this.
See,
Oh,
puns.
people are always trying, man. People are always
Puns.
trying.
They're not just for hospitality, man. They're across all industry sectors. That's great. See, you're lucky you get to
Now-
drive around and see this stuff. I don't see any of this.
Get a load of this.
Get a load of
Back
this.
of a garden supplies truck.
That's great.
And
What else have you got?
LDV, man. LDV. Is
LDV?
running parts for
What?
Maserati.
Serious?
That's right, man.
That's the
And you like that one? That's the
Look at
van.
that. That's the van one. That's the one with the slide, the
LDV
automatic
van.
doors.
Running
And,
parts for Maserati.
there they are.
There you go.
Look at that.
That's pretty cool.
Jeez, they've decked it out nice.
Yeah.
See, mate, if
Maserati.
it's good enough for Maserati, it's good enough for everyone
It's
else.
good enough.
Oh, I'm
That's
so
right.
happy. Just before we move on,
You'd say
love
that.
my car. Love my car.
That's it. LDV,
Well,
man.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm so happy with that purchase. Get on it, people. If you are, please consider. Please go and test
Damn right.
drive the LDV.
Now, like I said, I was walking
Oh, yes.
and hopefully this works out. Oh, it's a problem with the picture, but we'll work out all this guy who unfortunately you can't really see anything because I need to resize the picture.
Yeah.
I was standing at the intersection as I was walking in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Just minding my own business.
Right. As you-
Never made eye contact. This guy with the blue shirt was standing about 3 meters away from me. And all I hear is, so the lawyer says to me, the court case is still not finished. I mean, it's been 5 years. How long do you think it takes to settle an inheritance for 20 million? And then just walked off.
Hang on. Are you sure
I
you
will
didn't
repeat.
have
I will repeat. I do not script anything.
Are you sure he didn't have an
Things just
earpod in his
happen.
ear? He might have had-
No earpods. He was looking straight at me.
Well, maybe
So
you look
you
like
have
the
to
kind of guy
have
that's got
yourself in the
answers.
situation. Standing waiting for the lights to change so we can walk across the road, right? The guy's about 3 meters away from me. I did not make eye contact with him. I did not speak.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the light to change. to
Yeah,
walk
no,
across.
as you do. Absolutely. I get it.
He just turns straight to me and looks at me and says, so the lawyer said to me, the case is still not finished. I mean, it's been 5 years. How long does it take to settle an inheritance of 20 million? And then the light changed and he just walked off.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Give him
I
an
didn't
answer?
even answer him.
You didn't even
I
answer
didn't
it?
answer him.
But you look like the kind of guys who got answers. You could have given an answer. I think you should have said, I don't know, but how about I come with you and we see if we can split it? You should
The
have thought.
guy's just mid-sentencing me.
Maybe he looked
it's
like maybe you look like someone he knew. You think?
man, it's the weirdest things that
Maybe
weirdest things happen.
Are you sure?
The
Hang
weirdest
on.
things happen.
Was this a situation where you might have been someone standing behind you and you were
No,
talking to the person
no.
behind you? You know when that
No,
happens?
there was no one else around. There was
There was
no
nothing
one
in
else
his
around.
ear. Are you sure there was none of those
Nothing
small...
in his ear. I swear to you, there was nothing in his ear. We were just both standing like 3 meters
Oh.
apart, social distancing.
He's clearly... Well, I get the feeling he's asked that question of a few people and no one's been able to give him an answer.
But then he mid-sentenced me and went on about the inheritance for 20 million and why the lawyers took 5 years and it's still not solved.
Wow, that's a
And then
long
just
time.
walked off.
Oh, well. If you're not going to hang around, he's never going to get his answer, so you should have hung around for a bit. What do you want me to say? But geez, I tell you what, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Well, something tells me
I'm telling you,
that if he hasn't got after 5 years, something dodgy's going on.
this is weird. Just
He's drawing long bows to try and get 20 mil.
things happen, and
Where was
I
this?
don't have any control of it.
Where was this? When
On
this
for
happened?
Glenferrie Road. On Glenferrie Road.
Yeah.
Went for a walk.
That's what happens. See, that's why you shouldn't exercise, man. It's bad for you. Bad shit happens. You just go CrossFit
It's-
when you're in a gym, and none of this
it's-
weird shit goes on.
It's not the first time. I had one where I was with a client
Yeah.
and we were going for lunch in for Huntingdale,
Mhm.
which is an southeastern suburb of Melbourne.
Mhm.
And then we were walking to the place, and then there was a elderly lady in a scooter,
Oh, one of
which
those
is a motorized.
motorized
wheelchair.
mobile things, right?
Yeah, it's not a wheelchair. It's just
Yeah.
allows them to.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Not walk
One of those. I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. Yep.
So she's coming for the
Scooter.
opposite way. So she comes full pelt, like, and then just slams the brakes on right next to me. And she looks at me. She's going, and she just says, "I'm going home so I can get some money, and then I'm going to come back." And then just zooms off.
Come on, man. Just that. Don't you know what that? Don't you know what that could be?
Don't
Cool.
say it. That's
She could be the D. She could have the D. Oh, don't just say. You should have said you do that. Just please slow down and.
I didn't even get a chance to answer.
She's gone.
She just wasn't it again. Not making eye contact. Not
She hit
doing
the
anything.
NOS
Just
button.
minding my own business.
She
She hit the NOS button, slammed the brakes on as she gets next to me, and says, "I'm going home to get some money, and then I'm going to come back," and then just zoomed off. And
Mate,
the guy from the client has just looked at me and just starts wetting himself.
I would have been more impressed if she had stopped and said, "It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning." Then I would have been impressed. Poof, and off she went.
Pulled a wheelie.
Hit the NOS button. Well, you see, this is why you should work from home. Because when you work from home, the only thing you got to do
Weird
is hang
things
out the
happen.
washing, put things in the dryer. Nothing weird happens. Bruce
Make
Bruce doesn't do anything. He just sleeps now. He doesn't even look at you. Nothing weird
It's you
happens.
again.
Ah,
So, people, I hope we haven't gone over an hour, but
we
I
have.
reckon I'm probably
bloody
wrong.
oath we have. We have. We did well. Last week we
Trying.
had 56 minutes.
I know.
We did well. So
Apologise.
don't apologise.
Shout out for Justin. He's a heavy listener.
Yes.
He watches. Shout out for Natalie. You know,
Thank you.
she's
All of our
a
listeners.
full supporter of the channel. Everyone's a full supporter.
For all our
Thank you.
supporters, those who listen to us weekly, we do appreciate it. Please give us a like. It helps move the channel along. And if you haven't, please click subscribe. We'd love to have you on board as part of the community. Well, that
And
wraps it up.
remember, if you're trying to follow Will Smith in the snow, just look for the Fresh Prince.
Look for the Fresh Prince, man. It's all about. And on that note,
It's not sophisticated, but
it's
you
not
can
at
look
all.
for the Fresh Prince.
That's right. Sophisticated. People, on that note,
everyone, people,
please take care. And if anything, just be kind, be respectful, and we'll all get along. Seriously.
it's not that hard.
Not that hard. Let's try. Sid, always a pleasure. Thanks for your time, everyone. Until next week. Good night.
See you, everyone.
Yeah.